Hey everyone, we're here playing as a deck called High Violet. It's next design. It is really quick, and we're up against Whizzard. This should be interesting. Opening hand is pretty good actually. So we can get this as a taxing piece of ice. We can get this as a stopper, and Architect is just great. So this is obviously a keep. We could in fact throw Fairchild out to the side as well. Do we have to worry about Temujin? That is the question. So this always got an R&D. This we'll put on HQ, and this we'll put to a new remote. Oops. Oh, there we go. So we need to do a draw. So yeah, messed that up. But now we're good again. So opening hand is interesting. 2 Hunter Seekers, Biotic, Ultraviolet Clearance, which will really draw our hand far too much, I think. So I think instead we put this into server 1. Credit. Not exactly a strong start, not quite what we wanted, but we'll get to see what they're up to. So unfortunately we don't have another piece of ice, because if they do Temujin, we could res this, install the piece of ice on Archives. But it might be a good chance to force them to pay 3, force them to pay 3, or trash stuff, and then we can end the run. Whizzard has a lot of options. Whizzard is just a good ID. There's a reason he's been pretty prolific for so long at this stage. So we'll see what they've got planned. If they start poking things, we can res 4 or 5. We can res this for a net of 2. So we're just short of resing the Fairchild on them. So we'll see what their plan is. Okay, that unfortunately tells us absolutely nothing. Here, I think we take 3, install this on Archives. Really, we should be drawing an awful lot more. But I am nervous to draw far too much. That is one thing I've struggled with this deck so far, because you don't have the safety net of Jackson. So basically if you overdraw and have to pitch stuff, you could be pitching really good things. I think next turn is a good time to do it. Hunter Seeker and Arc Lockdown combo is great. Biotic is always good though. But we do need to move faster, because they are getting themselves set up slowly but surely. Earthrise and Katie, it's a good way to start. So if we do this, we end up with a load of cards. We can install the Vitruvius. And there's a triple rather than an ender, so let's see. Let's install you into server 1. We'll get rid of 1 Hunter Seeker. Wraparound is good. Rototurret is unexpected, possibly. I think Wrap is better. And we'll get rid of Sure Gamble. Maybe, or maybe Biotic. Yeah. Doesn't feel great, but we'll see. Now, we could waste their entire turn by running this. They will unfortunately get an agenda. Okay. They're going to take it nice and slow. So I think we could actually install Wraparound over this and try and get ourselves a token. Advance offense. That'll give us clicks next turn to do stuff. Can sure gamble. We force them to install a breaker at least. And it's still going to be taxing with the Fairchild at the bottom of it all as well. We can get 2 tokens, which we could actually just keep getting loads of biotics, which isn't bad. Grimoire and Data Sucker, Corroder, old school. So I think here we actually go for as many tokens as we can, because this gives us a bit of leeway. We can get our biotics, we can go for massive draws. Hunter Seeker could be good. So we have good options here. So they're trashing Mimic, they're playing good old breakers. And Mimic is a big one to lose. Arc Lockdown might not be a bad idea. So play this, install this, pop this, or play Arc Lockdown. It is an interesting deck. There's a lot of decisions to be made, mainly with what are you going to trash when you overdraw massively. More Data Suckers come down. And that is the thing about Anarchy. Even if you take out their breakers, Parasite is still a thing. Not so for Architect, of course, but still a thing. Nothing trashable in hand. Quandary would stop them. Maybe worth not giving them Data Sucker counters. Yeah, I'm okay with that. So play this. Play. This is somewhat taxing at least. Let's put that in R&D. And let's Arc Lockdown Mimic. If we need, we can get it back again with Vitruvius. But now as well we have a good chance to Ultraviolet, not draw too far over our hand size. Unfortunately, wraparound is significantly less good now. You'd have to assume the Parasites will come out soonish. It's not a big deal in terms of the ice being trashed. So far it's pretty small stuff. But they will be able to accumulate Data Sucker counters very, very quickly. And here, I'm going to actually let them through the barrier. Or, I could tax them here. 4 and 8. Yeah, it's worth doing. I think they can get through this. But we can afford both pieces of ice. And we'll get an Architect Fire off as well. And that is somewhat important. Oh, no, don't end the run. Now we can't even Ultraviolet. We can take money. Okay, so they're going to go through it. We can res the Architect. We're very poor. So maybe the Seder Adaptive Barrier was not the right choice, because they're going to get the Data Suckers back anyway, and you cost them credit then. User growth by 2. All good. And let's res. So hopefully we can find something useful. Unfortunately, they're running with 1 click left, which means we can't install an agenda here. Top 5 cards, Vorndy. Interesting. So 2 beta tests coming. We can install from archives or HQ as well, so we'll obviously install the advanced assembly lines. Do we go out of beta test? Or do we leave it? I think we leave it. Install a card from archives or HQ. Really wish I was ETF now. And they'll see lateral growth. So my ultraviolet, violet level clearance, if we do it this turn, we're going to draw into 2 beta tests and 2 cards I cannot remember, and I only just saw them. I worry about myself sometimes. So we'll do this, res this for money, and unfortunately we have to just credit, I think. Which means next turn we're going to find our beta test, which we can ultraviolet install. Fairchild is problematic for them, depending on when they run. Unfortunately, can't really afford Turing in front of that, even though wraparound is now pretty bad. But Hunter Seeker could cause issues. Unfortunately, we can't punch them here, so we're just going to have to let them through. Keep our money for violet level. Keep calling it ultraviolet. And you know, worst comes to worst, and they do get an agenda, we can Hunter Seeker their corroder. And then all of a sudden, the barrier and wraparound in particular becomes so much better. Let's credit, and might as well take loads of money while we can, or take some money and draw while we can. Ah yes, more violet level clearances, of course. We'll pitch the Turing, I think. Don't know when we're going to use all of these violet levels with our already stacked hand. Okay, Ice Carver is a decent install, but if they do run, they are going to get punished. Clone Chip, Street Battler, Grimoire, and Mimic is back. Oh no, Mimic the trashed. So possibly Clone Chip and get it out immediately. That'll be a decent idea. There we go. And now they're still looking for their last breaker though. An Inject is a very dangerous card to play with the breakers that actually get trashed, as opposed to the ones you can install from heap. That's still, you know, it's still a dangerous game to play, but at least you have a bit more options and a little more versatility. I'm going to go for R&D. That makes sense. It is pretty cheap and cheerful to get through. 1 and then 2 credits, getting data circuits all the way. But if we can score this, we can get a biotic, score this out. Ugh. Or even double biotic, score this. Let's advance, advance, advance. The question is, do we fire it? We now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces of ice. Yes. Oh, that's the banker. All right. Unfortunately, all barriers, so Corroder's going to eat through them pretty easily. But at least we can make things a bit more taxing. So we'll fire this onto R&D. Just boost everything up considerably. At least now they have to use data sucker counters. We'll put this on HQ, I suppose, and put this on Go R&D as well. Yeah, why not, sure. Because these become amazing. Unfortunately, Quandary has to go. So this is only going to cost 1, 2, 3, but these are suddenly beefier pieces of ice to deal with that actually have to use additional data circuit counters and possibly even money. Should nearly stuck the vanilla up here as well just to make them strength 7. Considering HQ is not that taxing, provided they get there. I assume Yogg. Or we could have stuck one of these on the scoring server, but I think our plan from now is just biotic everything out. Suddenly there'll be no need for our scoring server, which is getting worse by the turn. And okay, so let's get biotic labor back. Let's play it. And go for the Vitruvius, I suppose. And now we're basically just racing to 7 credits. Unfortunately, we're short of getting the money for this turn for the violet level. But we'll see. Their last breaker seems to be a little buried, which is definitely helping us. This Vitruvius, get the other biotic, and slam the beta test. You know, the question is how many clone chips are they laying as well? Because if they do get an agenda, we can simply get a credit, Hunter Seeker, or the Corroder, and that might lock them out. But obviously their eyes are on R&D. Have they left themselves short? Ice Carver should be working here. So yeah, Ice Carver is messed up, it seems. So yeah, Ice Carver immediately brings it to 5. Dinosaur 4, but even at that, 3, 2, pay 1. Then you pay... I think they're short here. But they could use Architect against us as well. Somewhat. I mean, if they give us too many firings of it, we'll be able to build ourselves up quite easily. So 4, 3, 2. fact, they are going to be short. And this is where Paperclip is significantly better. So this is going to cost them 4. Architect will fire. And suddenly the laundry was a bad idea. They would have got 5 credits back, but at what cost? Of course we could say, if... okay. I was going to say if they wanted, they could take the liberated money first. So let's look at the top 5. And I'm happy not to install any of these. I think they're going to see 2, which will be vanilla lateral growth, which means the Vitruvius is safe. But I will install you from archives into server 1. So we know deep medium digs are not going to do much good for them. And we have to get to 7 credits. So we can res this, take a credit or 2, and violet level. It doesn't mean we'll be drawing past all of what we saw, but at least we'll have the money then to the following turn score at the beta test. Meanwhile, they have to find their Yogg or whatever code gate breaker they are playing. And it might actually be better to get the things into hand, get our Vitruvius and the beta test. If they take 1, it's not terrible. So we'll res this. Let's credit, draw loads, get rid of vanilla, get rid of vanilla, get rid of rototurret, and get rid of... let's even get rid of the food, because I think that could cause more problems. I'm going to look ridiculous, of course, if they grab both 2 pointers from hand, but we'll see. One data sucker goes, David comes out. I was not expecting that. But again, it's limited runs that they've got here. So David will work on these 2. But they only have 1 shot at that. And again, without code gate breaker, so we should be somewhat safe depending on what they pick out of here. So yeah, the Architect Fire allowed us to get this back, and that's huge. That will close out the game because it made it much easier to money up, get ourselves our additional money and draw. And having the extra Vitruvius token has been a godsend. So this game, I think, showed a pretty good idea of how this deck's supposed to work. It's a very, very quick deck, especially when you get a dream layout of ice at the start. We didn't have to res any of this, which is nice. Perfect beta test as well. So a lot of fortune went in our way. But even that, like, look how many cards we've trashed just because of overdraws. And as I say, that's one thing that I have struggled with this deck. But definitely worth a try. It is very, very quick, which is pretty much what you need these days against runners. If you let any of them get set up, you are in trouble. Between the likes of Blue Moose, Haley, or Smoke, any of these things, they're going to cause you all sorts of issues. So David goes. If they're trying to install Yogg though, they're 1 credit off, unfortunately. So we are going to grab Biotic Labor. We're going to play Biotic Labor, play Lateral Growth to get this into a new remote. So we didn't actually need as much money as we got in the end. Score it out, and that is that. The early Mimic hit definitely helped us a lot with the arc lockdown. Yeah, pretty much everything that could have gone our way did go our way. So our opponent was always in rough shape. But with this rig, as soon as it gets set up, you're in a lot of trouble, which is why this kind of deck, the next design side of things, is the perfect counter, or a good counter, and has Sailor Adaptive Barrier, which is just fantastic. Let's fire this and see. Nope, nothing. Okay. Well, hope you enjoyed, and thank you very much for watching.